Hey, what's up guys? Today in this video, we are going to update our product listing based on the filters that we are applying. So continuing from our previous video where we were able to fetch the new product information based on the facets that we have selected, the only thing which was left was really to update the product listing on this page so that the new set of products are visible. But obviously, initially what we were doing is I have done a little bit of refactoring, but quickly I will show you. We were fetching the products on the server side using the get static props, and we were sending it as a prop to the page component. And that is the reason why when that page is even crawled by crawlers like Google, they will see those product information because that page is really server side rendered. However, that listing would change when a user selects on any particular filter. So for example, if I click on Apple and then I click on filter, apply filter, right? As you see, there are only two products. So the same product listing actually got updated with this new set of products which came in through an API call based on the selection of my facets, right? So what I did was, first of all, I changed the name to product props so that it is a little more easy to reference what is happening. So these props are coming to that page component. And then what I did was to put that in a state variable. Why? Because I know that this state variable will change when the facets or the filter is applied as well. So as you can see, I have this new products and set products from useState. I declared the type similar to what I have in the props because I know it is going to be of the same type. Okay. And I have a use effect which basically looks for the product props, and when it changes, it adds that data into the products state variable that we created on this page. Okay. And that is how, because the products are getting updated, right? The rest of the code which is responsible for rendering the products, I just did a check of whether the product is defined or not, because in here initially I have nothing in there, right? So that check is done, and then the length, and then I'm rendering the product. Rest of the code remains the same. So now this basically means when the filter is applied, apply button is clicked, this function is getting called. We have seen in our last video what this does, what the get IDs does, because it is getting the facet IDs, and based on that I'm getting the product IDs as well, which I need to show based on the facet selected. Then we get the unique result, and then we call the get products, which is getting based on the IDs which we got, right? The unique IDs that we just created, we are getting the new product data. So what I'm doing at that point is setting the setting the state using the set products function to the new items which we right now received based on the filter. Okay. And then obviously, because the filter is right at the bottom of the thing, right, I have used this scroll to view. So if you see, I have page top as a useRef. Okay. It's an HTML div element. Initially it can be null. So page top ref, that's something which I'm using. I declare it. If it is available, that what I am doing is scroll into view, behavior smooth, block starts. So that is responsible for just, let's just say, if I am looking for Logitech, Samsung, Corsair, things like that, and even maybe Nike. Now when I click on this apply filter, it scrolls to the top and takes me right at the start of the product list. Okay, this is the behavior which I wanted, and that's why I had to use the scroll to top. All right, now let's look at how the query is working, because we understand the behavior. We saw how we changed the component to use the state to render the products. We saw how we are using the use effect to take the prop variable which is coming and set it to the state. We also saw how the products data which is coming after the filtration is applied to the state and how the scroll function works. But then there's one thing which we saw that was common between the query which is running over here, which is fetch products. So the fetch products is using product listing query, and the product, filter product also will need to define a very similar query. So what I did is something called as fragment. So this fragment, let me open this query and also product queries. Right. So as you can see, what is happening is, let me also open up the fragment. So initially, this entire thing was actually getting repeated over here. Okay. And ideally, it would have to be repeated over here as well. But then, as you understand, it would mean duplication of code. If I want to change my component somewhere, I mean, obviously the card is one. So if I have some additional information that I need to show on my card, I'll have to change the query in two different places. And this is something which is really not a very good idea, because you should not be repeating these kind of stuff. So what I did, I used something called as fragments inside my not MySQL, but rather GraphQL. Okay, so what fragment allows you to do is almost like it's an import of one particular class file in PHP or even in JavaScript. Similarly, what I did, I declared a constant called product full view fragment. It's a GraphQL thing, okay, string rather. I'm declaring it as a fragment. I'm saying fragment product on the product entity, okay. And these are the I would say the properties that we are referencing, or rather requesting for, okay. Now, whenever in any of the queries, or even I won't say mutation, I don't know whether in the mutations I can use a fragment or not, but definitely on the queries, whenever we are dealing with the product, we can use this fragment. So the first query which was getting executed from our service, right, which is the product queries, in here I defined that I'm querying for products, items, and then whatever is being requested is of type my fragment, okay, which is product. Similarly, I have this entire logic of, the query which takes the IDs, filter the products based on the IDs which are in that, right? I mean, I'm passing an array of IDs, right? So the filter will apply on that. So I get the total IDs, or rather total items, and then whatever I have here is again from the fragment. So as you can see, inside the GraphQL string, I have this $product view fragment, which is being imported from the fragment file which I have created, right? I'm exporting this constant. So based on this, I am able to have one place where I am requesting for the keys. So in future, if I make any change in my card, I know this is the place where I need to make the changes, and both the queries will automatically get updated. So yes, this is how fragment works. It's an important concept, and I hope you are able to understand it. So yes, definitely based on this, what we get finally is that the get products, which is using the filter product query, which is this, right? It uses the same fragment, which is also used in the product queries. Hence we get the same kind of data. And that's the reason the product card, which we have, right? It is able to render itself consistently when the page is refreshed, like so. And even when I am applying a filter, like this. So yes, that's about it, guys. That's how I refactored the code, or I won't say refactor, but I changed the code so that the page component is now rendering the products based on the state variable. We looked at using the useRef so that we can have that small scroll behavior just for the ease of that user. And also I showed you how fragments can be used to our advantage so that we don't have to repeat the queries. So if you like this video, do click on the thumbs up icon and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.